opens the mic. Opens the mic.
It's 6 o'clock.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info. This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Mental health is real. Seek help. End the stigma. On the news this morning, Rivers farmers lament losses as federal government issues fresh flood alert. Group slams RISIEC for candidates list ahead of Rivers Council election. On the foreign scene, UN official warns against Israel's expanding Gaza operations. I am Ifiemi Andrew. Cassava farmers say they now sell gari at a loss due to early harvesting. Speaking with correspondent Oega Chiwonsu, some of the farmers in Akinima community out of West Local Government area of the state said the recent days of persistent rainfall caused flash floods and led to premature harvesting. They said the gari is not as good as it should be. They revealed they now sell a basin of gari for between 5,000 and 7,000 naira, down from the initial price of between 13,000 and 15,000 naira.
Three farm where I get, the ones who I fit harvest, carry go market self no way. We carry self now 6,000, 5,000. Before 15,000, 13,000. The heatiness of the ground, the water will settle there, the rain will fall. So the ones who are not fit harvest don't rot it finish, nothing to carry take again, don't ferment it there. So the thing they worry me for me, I don't know what I go do.
Our farm is submerged by rainwater causes the cassava to rot. So each time you put, they just black, nothing you can pick out of it again. So the rain really affected us. We just start to harvest because they never really matter. You sell them now, give away price. People from outside, but that company they come buy and cheap now. Will be just money we find, so that we could not run too much loss.
The farmers appealed to the government for help. Corroborating this, the Akinima community chief, Eniata Abieba, said they are concerned that the situation may cause scarcity of food in the community next year.
That 1 week rainfall that created flash floods and a lot of crops were destroyed. The situation abated, so I don't know what will happen about tomorrow. What I want to say that since that incident of the heavy rains of the month of July, they are affect the people in the near future, because it's now create a situation that by next year there will not be enough food on ground for people to use.
Kenyatta reminded the government that people are still living in fear as they approach the end of August, which is the usual season for flooding in the Orashi region.
We are now getting close to the time of the real annual flood, which is supposed to be the end of August. Students have not posed any new threat, and these rains that are coming now, they have not risen to that level. That is, they are going to rise beyond that level before they become a threat to us. But we are anticipating that we will face such difficulties when the flood will really commence its move by end of August.
He said no IDP camp has been set up in the area. He called on the Rivers State government to use the 3 billion naira provided by the federal government to help flood-prone communities.
Then we have been expecting government to really embark on aggressive measures to show that they are really ready to help the people. So we expect them to create IDP camps, which none is existing for now. We expect them to prepare grounds to ensure that when the time comes, the people have enough to eat. Even if a drug supply, there are many others they're supposed to do. Even a potable water supply, we expect them to do. And if ever they have disbursed money to them, we want to hope that they will use this money judiciously.
Recall that NEMA's head of media, Manzo Ezekiel, in a statement said the federal government, through the National Economic Council, approved 3 billion naira for each state to tackle flooding. Meanwhile, the federal government has forecasted heavy rainfall over a 5-day period that may trigger flooding across 19 states and 76 locations. The warning issued on Tuesday by the National Flood Early Warning System Center of the Federal Ministry of Environment called on stakeholders and residents to take urgent precautionary measures. This comes as devastating floods struck Ogun and Gombe states on Tuesday, with other states also affected by the disaster. The center's flood prediction shows that the affected areas are expected to experience rainfall likely to cause flooding from August 5 to August 9, 2025. Moving on, the chairman of Defense for Human Rights and Democracy, Clifford Solomon, has criticized the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, RISEC, for receiving names of candidates from political parties ahead of the August 30 local government election. Solomon faulted RISEC for accepting the candidate list without monitoring the party primaries as required by the Electoral Act. He said no primary election was conducted on Saturday and alleged that the names submitted to the commission were handpicked. He said the chairmanship and councillorship candidates submitted by the APC are not even members of the political party.
The purported primaries that produced some individuals for the August 30th local government election goes contrary to all known laws and guidelines and was not strictly monitored by RISEC, thereby making it a nullity. RISEC is now seen as a conduit pipe to loot Rivers monies. We wish to tell the world that no primary was held to produce chairmanship and councillorship candidates. Rather, it was a handpicked made by a political godfather. The candidates that emerge from the All Progressive Congress APC are not even registered members of the party.
He called on RISEC to listen to the concerns raised by electorates in the interest of democracy.
Concerns has been raised, petitions written, and it is expected that the RISEC listen and act swiftly on that as not to set a very negative precedence. D.A. Sharudi does not regard that as election but selection, and it will not stand, just as the one before was annulled by the Supreme Court.
Recall that yesterday, RISEC Commissioner in charge of Political Parties Affairs, Monitoring and Security, Godfrey Woke, told our correspondent that all political parties in the state have submitted names of candidates who emerged from Saturday's primaries. Similarly, a public affairs analyst, Dr. Innocent Kasarachi, has warned that it would be a premeditated waste for the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission to proceed with the council election if it has violated any part of the electoral guidelines. Dr. Kasarachi, a lecturer in the Department of Communication and Media Studies at the University of Port Harcourt, said this while reacting to several litigations against the commission for going ahead with plans to conduct council elections on the 30th of August.
What makes it bad is that this waste is not just a waste, it's a premeditated waste. It's a waste that you knew it was going to happen. You still went ahead to engage in it. My advice is there's no need. What is the reason for for this rush. Why don't we call back the governor and then take time and do this election right so that we don't get into West premeditatedly? My problem is that we know what's going to happen and we're going ahead, and that is a democratic rascality.
Dr. Kasarachi said the resources that would have been wasted if the election were annulled can only be recovered in 2 budget cycles.
These monies can go a long way in paying people promotional areas, employing the youth. So have you gone around to look at primary school, the state of primary schools and education in Riverside right now? These monies can go. So it will be a waste that will take at least 2 budget cycles, to bring up. Why don't we call back the governor and then take time and do this election right so that we don't get into West?
Meanwhile, another public affairs analyst, Ijoma Obi, has described the emergence of PDP and APC candidates at the primaries over the weekend as a deceptive move to convince President Bola Tinubu that the APC in Rivers State is fast becoming a grassroots political party. Mr. Obi also predicted that the APC may win more local government areas in the August 30 council polls, which according to him is a political strategy to remain relevant at the presidency. His comments followed the outcome of last Saturday's primaries conducted by the APC and PDP, where some known politicians in both parties loyal to the FCT minister emerged as candidates of both parties.
Forms of APC are given to candidates to go and field for the election. He has strategically planted his people and shared these both political parties, their forms to people. And majority of those who are going to be announced as chairman from the respective local government, majority of them will be under the platform of it, so that he can massage the ego of the president and make him feel that, okay, the APC is now a majority in the grassroots in Rivers State. That is not true.
Mr. Obi also said the outcome of the local government elections will further confirm what he described as state capture ahead of 2027 general elections.
When we want to look at it in-depthly, we will realize that apart from seeing a situation where we describe as state capture, where the godfatherism system of being in control of entire states, it's targeted to appeal to the president. It is aimed at the controller of the entire 23 local government in River State. And so this is just a politics for 2027 to prepare the grounds for, whatever they want to do in 2027.
On his part, former Commissioner for Information and Communications, Ogbonna Woke, says what is playing out politically in Rivers State is politicians aligning with the South-South region's moves to ensure it protects its own come 2027.
The South-South has capitulated to the APC largely. You are seeing your governors of Edo, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Delta. Everybody is going in the direction of the president. So you should also expect that those movements will translate to what you're seeing on ground. Politics is seasonal, and all politics is local. My take is that clearly what we are seeing indicates that perhaps the stance are shifting in the South-South. So what you are seeing in River State is not just restricted to Rivers alone. This is something that's happening on a broad scale in the.
Still to come, medical experts decry delay in opening key Rivers health facilities. Stay tuned.
The Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria presents
Confidence-building measures between the people of Ogoni and the federal government to facilitate negotiations for the resumption of oil exploration in Ogoni land. The Office of the National Security has led a team to conduct an on-the-spot evaluation of key development projects in the region. The team comprises the Director of the Energy Security Directorate at the Office of the National Security Advisor, Ojukai Flagamakri, Special Assistant to the NSA, Goodluck Ebelo, and Secretary of the Energy Security Working Group, Prince Austin Kabari. Also in the team were facilitators from the Ogoni Dialogue Committee ODC, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited NNPCL, and its joint venture partners, as well as representatives from the River State government. Flagamakri addressed journalists during the visit.
On behalf of the federal government, we want to state our sincere seriousness in terms of meeting our own part of the agreement in the ongoing dialogue with the Ogoni communities. So we are also using this opportunity to thank the community for their readiness and for all what they have been doing to ensure that we have a smooth operation here in Ogoni land.
Also speaking, the chairman of the Ogoni Dialogue Committee, Professor Don Baidam, praised the federal government, especially the National Security Advisor, for its efforts in implementing the agreements.
Sometime in February this year, we presented some confidence-building measures, things that government must do before we start talking with them. One of them was the completion of the East-West Road. The second one was signing of the bill of the University of Environment into law. The third one was rehabilitation of some of our hospitals and then employment of some of our youth NPC. I'm happy to say that that road construction, they've started, and by the grace of God, they would complete it. This is the first time we, the Ogoni people, are having a sense of belonging. No one has ever done that, but this present government has done it.
Our correspondent reports that the delegation inspected several critical projects, including the ongoing East-West Road construction in Chia General Hospital, the proposed industrial park, Tabat General Hospital, Terabo General Hospital, Kedere General Hospital, the Federal University of Environment Technology, Sakwenwa, the Center of Excellence for Environmental Restoration, CEER, and the Ogoni Specialist Hospital in Tai. In other news, it's been 4 years since the 132-bed space mother and child hospital in Port Harcourt was built and commissioned, but it remains closed and has never been used. Also, the 25.9 billion naira Dr. Peter Odoli Cancer and Cardiovascular Disease Diagnostic and Treatment Center is yet to be in use about 3 years after it was built and commissioned. A medical expert, Dr. Stephen Okoro, tells correspondent Martha Okere that both health facilities were targeted at tackling key health care challenges and improving the country's performance in maternal health indicators. He said if the facilities were operational, it would have helped reduce the present pressure on existing hospitals, attracted skilled medical professionals, and slowed down the brain drain affecting the health sector.
As it is now, people will still be going outside the country for services that they could have obtained in this place. And then the brain drain that would have been arrested, because for that place to be up and running, that would have attracted the best of the best from all over the world to come and work in River State. But as it is now, the hope seems to have been dashed. Rather, it seems that they have just built a health center for rats and cockroaches.
Okoro says the continued delay reflects a form of bad politics, saying it is unusual for a project to be commissioned without being put to use. He, however, said despite the disappointment, the government still has a chance to act by making the facilities fully functional. The chairman of the Nigerian Medical Association, Dr. Damon Tamanokoro, also spoke on this.
These two facilities have been equipped to world-class standards, but continues to be a symbol of waste and a reminder of our collective inefficiencies if they are not put to use. The possible employment opportunities, the services to be rendered and received, the income to be generated, as well as the knowledge to be gained by health workers all remain a mirage to our dear state by the persistent closure of these health facilities. The best time to have acted was yesterday. The next best time is now.
Back in March, then Commissioner for Health, Dr. Adeze Ore, blamed the delay on the withdrawal of the private partners meant to run the facility. In January 2025, she again stated that the hospitals were not yet operational but would open soon. In June, the State Sole Administrator Ibak Eda Iba has visited both sites, but no further update have been given since.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
A top UN official has warned that there will be catastrophic consequences if Israel expands its military operations in Gaza. It followed reports that Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is pushing for a total reoccupation of the Strip. Assistant Secretary General Miroslav Jenka told a meeting of the UN Security Council such a move will be deeply alarming if true and could endanger the lives of Israeli hostages held by Hamas. Israeli media reported that Netanyahu plans to meet with his security cabinet this week. On the news this morning, you heard that Rivers farmers are lamenting losses as the federal government issues fresh flood alerts. Medical experts have decried delay in the opening of key Rivers health facilities. A group has slammed RISEC for candidates list ahead of Rivers Council election. And on the foreign scene, you heard that UN officials have warned against Israel expanding Gaza operations. The news was edited by Choma Ezewanfo. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp message to 0808-721-7215. My name is Ifiemi Andrew. Good morning and thank you for your time.
Nigeria Info.